So this question's from Peter here. So he's got a 2 profit target order set here. And so when the first profit target is hit, he would like to move the stop loss for his second profit target. Doesn't say where he'd like to move it, but he would just like to move the profit target. So we'll just assume, most traders like to move their stop loss for the second profit target to break even. So we'll show how to do that real quick. So with, I believe with the second update to BlackBird, that was, when was it, back in February or March of this year? Right, that's when we added a nice convenient option to be able to move a stop loss based on an order being hit. It doesn't only apply to a stop loss, but I guess, let me just get in here and kind of show you. So, all right, so I'll just make a market entry, and so let's just do a 10 tick profit target, and let's see, I guess I'll do a fixed 10 tick profit target. All right, so there's our first profit target order set, and then for the second profit target, let's see, I'll just make a copy of the first one, and then let's go in here and adjust our profit target. We'll go and adjust it up to, let's say, a 20 tick profit target. And now our stop loss. All right, so here's the key to getting this second stop loss to move to break even once our first profit target is hit. All right, so we're going to go into trailing actions, and we need to turn the trailing actions on. So we're going to create a custom trailing action. And now let's add a trailing rule here. So, and let's give this a name here. It's always good to kind of name stuff so you know what's happening when you come back and revisit this, a week or two later. So, all right, so we're going to do a break even at T1. Target 1 or profit target A. So, or order set A. There we go. So once profit target A gets hit, we'll move to break even. All right, let's see, let's stretch this out a little bit. There we go. Okay, so there's no delay. We're not going to use a delay on this one, but what we are going to use is the trigger. All right, so the triggers are more complex, conditions that you can look for in order, conditions, that once those conditions trigger, then that's what would be used. Those conditions what would be used to then move your stop loss order under the actions here. All right, so here it is. So the key is under the triggers, we have an order status changed. Right, so if our profit target gets filled, right, that order status has changed to filled. So that's what we want. So the first option here is to select the order. Which order do we want? So you notice we have a bunch of orders here. So we have the entry order for A, but of course, in this case it's a market order, so it's not much is going to change there. But we do have the stop loss. So if the stop loss for order A, if our stop loss for order A gets hit, you could do something. But what we're interested here is in the profit target, right? So if the profit target for A gets hit, right? So you can see that's our 10 tick profit target, right? Or T1. And then you have a couple of different modes here. So, if you're trading multiple contracts, say like we put in here, 5 contracts for order A. we could say that, well, we want to wait for all 5 contracts to get filled, or we could just say if any of the contracts filled. So my kind of favorite is to use the any filled here. So, and then, this kind of order status change, it's a multi-purpose tool. So you could also check to see if an order gets canceled as well. And sorry, we don't want canceled. We want any filled. There we go. All right. So, so if I decide to change the number of contracts for A, if I up it to 3, then if any of those 3 contracts get filled, then that will be the condition to move the stop loss here. And so the last step is, what action do we take once the profit target gets filled? What action do we take? Well, we want to move our stop loss, and we don't want to move it to the last price, right? Keep in mind, the last price is always where the market's trading, right? So that's where, so that's the most current. The last price is the most current price on your chart. So, but what we want to move it to is the entry price, right? The break even is the entry price of your orders here. So we'll move it to the entry price. So, and actually, if you want, I guess a true break even could be the average entry price, right? Because let's say if I was using limit orders to get into the market instead of market orders, if I was using limit orders, right, I could have a limit order, at say $46, and then I could have my second limit order at $45. So I'd have 2 different limit orders, right? And then there would be an average filled price of $45.50. Right, and that would be the true break even. So, really a more accurate break even. And, if you were kind of setting limit orders at different prices, then the average entry price is the true average. So the OCO entry price, that would be the entry price of just my entry order for B, right? So B is So OCO entry price, that's the entry price for B only. So it wouldn't account for order A if A got executed at a different price, right? If I had A and B at 2 different prices, then I'd want to use the average entry price. So we'll just set it up to average entry, just for good measure. So just like so. And that's it. So since this is a break even, there's no repeat, right? Break evens only move once, so we just leave the repeat alone. So all we had to set was just our trigger and set our action, and that was it. And now we're done. So there we go. So how about, I'll move the market down a little bit, and we'll just go short. All right, so as soon as profit target A gets hit, our stop loss will move to break even. So we'll just wait a few seconds here, maybe take a sip of coffee while this plays out. And there we go. All right, so our remaining stop loss just moved to break even there. All right, and I can predict what the follow-up question is. What if we want to move it to break even plus 1? So let's do that. So let's close this trade out here. And we'll open up BlackBird. So if we wanted to move our stop loss to break even plus 1, then we need to go into the actions, because the action is what sets the price of your stop loss, and it sets the price of your profit target as well. So in here, move to, so we want to select move to. So we have entry price, and then we could just put in a +1 for a break even plus 1. And if we took a short trade, then it would be a -1, and we can see a -1 is already put in there for us automatically. So there you go. That would be a break even +1. So let's go in here and adjust the name in here. I'll just put a break even +1 at profit target A. So just like that. And also, remember I let's see. Oh, here we go. Under the trigger, remember I put mode as any filled. So let's kind of do an exaggeration here. Let's set this to like 50 contracts. Let's say we're trading something really absurd, 50 contracts, and I'm pretty positive that 50 contracts is not going to get filled right away using the simulated data feed here. So we'll demonstrate that, as soon as a few contracts get filled out of this 50, that our stop loss will move to break even. So not all 50 orders will have to get filled here. And also, let me get rid of the text here. We don't really need the text for this. Okay, let's take a long trade this time, and we'll move the market up. And actually, look at this. Interesting enough. So since I put in 50 contracts, you can see I actually did get a split fill here, right? To fill all 51 contracts, I got a split fill here. So we can see we have two different profit targets because, yeah, we can see part of order A, 21 contracts got filled at one price, and the remaining 29 contracts got filled at a different price, right? So in this example, we do actually have a split fill, and so there is an average. So there's an averaged entry price. However, we can see the average entry price is in between ticks. So what BlackBird's going to do is it's going to round up. It's going to round up to the higher tick price. So, all right. So as soon as we get a couple of contracts filled, right at our lower profit target, then we'll see all the stop losses move there. Well, actually, yeah, you know what? We didn't account for such a large order, and so you can see we still had a stop loss kind of remaining there for A for a little bit. But anyways, there you go. So there's our stop loss move to break even there. +1. All right, so let me just go in here and adjust our number of contracts down to 1. A little more reasonable there. Oh, okay, you bet. So Jeff's got a question here. So yeah, Jeff is commenting. So with the latest updates, all right, so the 4th BlackBird update added some new options for scaling in to a position in the entry order section. So he's not sure how to set up a simple market entry. So, all right, now let's do that here. So let's open up BlackBird. So, and let me clear this. All right, so we're all cleared out. So if you just want to do a simple market entry, just click on market entry. That's all you have to do. So, the new placement settings that have been added, they're all set to inert settings, right? So, all right, the placement delay and the placement trigger, they're all turned off by default. So they're not going to interfere. You have to, deliberately go in here and actually turn them on and start using them in order for them to do anything, right? So if you wanted to set a market order, that's all you had to do is just put it on market order, and you're good to go. It's just that simple. And if you just want to use a simple, limit entry order, again, if we just want to use a simple limit entry order, just click on it, and there you go. So your limit order by the default is your limit order is going to be set to the close price, the closing price of the bar there. And then you can just go into the initial placement and adjust where you would like your limit entry to go. And again, the placement, these new placement options, they are turned off by default, so they're not going to do anything. So there you go. Hope that addresses it. So just to kind of add, if you'd like to learn, what these new placement settings can do, how to kind of use them, there is a video. So the first workshop after the update was released, that first workshop, I covered what the new settings were. So let's see, let's take a look here. Let's go to help and let's go to documentation. All right, so here we go. So if we click on the workshop videos, right here up on the top in general, workshop videos. There we go. We can scroll down. And yeah, here we go. So July 21st. So there's the recent update enhancements. So there you go. There's an overview of the new placement features there. Just as a general rule, all options are all turned off. You have to consciously go in there and, turn all of these, functionalities on, so you have to consciously know what you're doing and go in and turn things on, so, right. So therefore, if there's some kind of setting in there that, you're not sure about, really, you don't have to worry about it because it's going to be turned off by default. It's only if you go in there and turn it on, then you should, if you're going to turn something on, you should know, obviously you should know what you're turning on there. So, yeah. And also, let's see, let's also, let me go back page here. So if you want to take a look at the documentation, if you want to read description of what those placements do, right? So the placements are in the order sets on here, right? So everything in this section, where you set up your orders, that is in the order sets here. All right, there we go. And if we scroll down, so there we go. There's the order options tab. All right, so there we go. A little screenshot of the options tab. So remember, you have the options tab and you have a trailing actions tab. So the order options tab, and then right here's the displacement delay and displacement trigger. Right, so you can see a description for both of those options there. So, and almost everything has a little example, right? So EG is kind of short for example. All right, I hope that helps. All right, gentlemen. Well, yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything else for me to answer. So I guess we'll wrap this up, and I'll say have a good weekend. And of course, keep your questions coming. So that's what keeps these workshops going, is your guys' questions. And have a good weekend, and I hope to see you guys next week. All right, gentlemen, have a good one. Bye-bye.